Hello my fellow kings, queens, and other royalty. It's Newfound King here with a bit of a special video today. I want to share some stories from my DM that both I and other parties enjoyed. So, for context, our DM runs more of an open world, free roam style game rather than a single storyline. He creates a bunch of different quests and missions, exactly how an adventurer's guild would be. So every 2 sessions, it's a mixed match of different PCs to work together and clear what quest we choose. It's a really smart way to allow players that can't play often feel like they don't miss anything big or feel like they're doing things when they can't join. And of course, he also creates backstories for the PCs to do in the world, but I'll get to that later. It uses the rules of 5e and has a fantasy setting. The first story I want to share is about a wild magic user named Styx. The party was in a battle against a big bad. Things are looking bad and everyone is getting low. Styx went to cast a spell and it caused her wild magic to surge. Styx ends up summoning a unicorn that then proceeded to kick the shit out of the big bad, getting the special question every player loves. How do you want to do this? The adventurers end up beating the encounter with a great story to tell. The second story involves one of my characters named Aurora, a halfling arcane archer build that I'm trying with multiclassing, and a water genasi cleric / druid build named Ithilien, or Ithi for short. The two of them are best friends and have a really cute backstory together. The party was searching around a set of warehouses for something that's been causing trouble. We see a lady sitting in the middle of the room. Roll perception. Aurora rolls to hide to look around, as I was the only one to pass. The party looks around and sees a bunch of old dusty crates and pottery or other artifacts. Ithi goes up to the lady to ask if she's okay or if she's seen anything concerning around the area. Aurora casts message and tells the party nothing is as it seems, as Aurora is looking at bones, skull, and pots filled with body parts, blood, and maggots. As this happens, the woman in the middle drops the illusion and reveals herself as a hag, grabbing Ithi by the neck. Roll initiative. Aurora goes first, as she has a magic item that gives advantage to initiative rolls. Aurora, being concerned for her friend, makes 2 attacks against the hag. 1 called shot on the hand, 1 sharpshooter feat shot. For those not familiar with called shots, you make the attack roll with a -5 penalty to the attack roll. It allows for amazing roleplay moments and ways to think outside the box. The DM warns me that, with the called shot on the hand, there is a chance I could seriously hurt Ithi if I miss. I accept, as Aurora is trying to save her friend. The arrow flies through the air and pierces through the hag's hand, causing her to drop Ithi. The second arrow, right into the hag's chest. The hag turns and points at Aurora. Ithi's turn. Ithi sees the hag pointing at Aurora and flips out and yells at the hag, "Don't point at my friend," and casts level 4 inflict wounds. Ithi grabs the hag and drains the life out of her. Staring at the hag, Ithi repeats, "I said, don't point at her," dealing 70-10 necrotic damage, taking the last remaining HP of the hag. The party then proceeds to fight 4 more and a lesser demon to clear out the area, completing their task. The last story I want to go over involves my favorite character, a silver dragonborn Oathbreaker paladin named Dekarin. The party calls her Ducky. Remember how I said our DM incorporates backstories into his open world campaign? Well, Dekarin was a part of a dragonborn tribe up north that was killed by a bunch of lizard folk called the God Killers. While she was out on a quest, she met this changeling hunter that was trying to kill off any changeling he met. Dekarin and the party then captured him and brought him to the town that we stay at to get arrested. She then ends up making a deal with him to get information for his release on another condition that she'll help him change his mind in the ways of hunting changelings. So he ends up giving Dekarin the information as to where these lizard folk are, and Dekarin, with a bunch of other adventurers, go out and try to find them. We end up finding them outside a desert temple with lots of little encampments. We're looking out and there's maybe 500 to 600 lizard folk standing around. In the distance, we also hear a giant sandworm. The party decides to use a shadow demon that we found to go and control the sandworm to come and cause trouble while we sneak inside the temple to figure out what they're doing. After we sneak in, we see a bunch of little lizard folk digging out some gold and around this giant statue. Upon a closer look, we see that it is a statue of Tiamat, and we are standing in a temple for Tiamat, which is the god that Dekarin grudgingly serves to use Tiamat's power against the lizard folk. So as we get in, we look around and we see a bunch of lizard folk, and we go to attack. We start by one of the party members using Fireball to clear out a bunch of them, and that's when we roll initiative. It then goes to proceed that 2 of them are druids, and they wild shape into large stone elementals. And they have another stone elemental with them, helping them. Later on through the battle, we see the commanding lizard folk yell out a command in Draconic saying, "Take them and go." Down beside the statue of Tiamat, we see one lizard folk look up, and holding in his arms, he has 3 silver eggs. He goes and he casts something, and he goes to leave. One of the party members then casts Counterspell, and it was a DC 19, I believe, and he just made it. And so we stopped the lizard folk from getting away, and we jumped on him the next round, and were able to collect the 3 eggs. As we then later discovered, it was the last 3 remaining dragon eggs of Dekaren's tribe, and she was able to bring them back safely with the help of her party members. Thank you everyone for listening today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time.